The room was quiet. Rain tapped softly against the window, like time itself was slowing down. Taehyung stood near the door, ready to leave, ready to end this, ready to pull the trigger and disappear like he always did. Jungkook's voice stopped him. Stay. Taehyung froze. What? Jungkook didn't turn. Stay for a few days, he said softly. A pause. Then kill me. Silence. Heavy. Suffocating. Taehyung's grip tightened around the gun hidden under his coat. Are you insane? He muttered. Jungkook smiled faintly, placing a cup in front of him. Probably. That night, Taehyung should have ended it. One clean shot. 1 second. But he didn't. Morning came like nothing had changed. Like there wasn't a killer sleeping in the next room. Taehyung woke to the smell of food. Warm, fresh, unfamiliar. He stepped into the kitchen cautiously and froze. Jungkook stood there flipping pancakes, humming softly. Good morning, he said casually. You should eat. Taehyung frowned. I didn't agree to this. To what? This, Taehyung gestured at the table. Eat before it gets cold, Jungkook said, placing food in front of him. Taehyung stared at it, suspicious. It's not poisoned, Jungkook added lightly. A small pause. I wouldn't kill you before you kill me. Taehyung didn't move. You're feeding me? Jungkook tilted his head slightly. You're staying here, aren't you? A pause. Then, eat properly, he said gently. You look like you survive on coffee and bad decisions. Taehyung scoffed, but picked up the fork anyway. And for the first time in a long time, he ate without rushing, without watching the door, without thinking about killing.
Days passed, and something changed. Jungkook cooked for him every day, talked to him like they had known each other for years, asked about nothing, yet somehow understood everything. One afternoon, Taehyung came back injured, his arm slightly cut from another job. Before he could hide it, Jungkook noticed. Sit, Jungkook said softly. Taehyung frowned. It's nothing. It's bleeding? Jungkook gently took his arm, cleaned the wound, wrapped it carefully. His touch was warm, careful, almost caring. Taehyung didn't pull away. Silence fell again, but this time, it wasn't uncomfortable. It was calm. And Taehyung hated how much he didn't hate it. Jungkook bought him clothes, simple ones, comfortable. You can't keep wearing the same thing, Jungkook said, placing the bag in his hands. Taehyung stared at it. No one had ever done that for him. No one had ever thought about him like that. Slowly, without realizing, Taehyung stopped pretending. He stopped planning his escape, stopped counting exits, stopped thinking about the kill. He started staying, willingly. Days passed, and something shifted. They cooked together, walked at night, talked about nothing and everything. With Jungkook, he stopped feeling like a killer, started feeling like something else. One night, as they walked under dim street lights, Jungkook spoke quietly. Have you ever wanted to stop killing? Taehyung didn't hesitate. No. Jungkook smiled, soft, knowing. You will. Taehyung frowned slightly, but the words stayed. The words settled deep. Taehyung didn't understand why they bothered him, but they did.
Taehyung sat alone in the dark, phone in his hand, a message blinking on the screen. Status? He stared at it. Minutes passed. Then he turned the phone off. Didn't reply. Didn't report. didn't care. Why haven't I done it? He had killed targets in seconds before. No hesitation, no emotion. So why can't I pull the trigger now? Inside the bathroom, Jungkook coughed. Hard, violent. Blood stained the sink. His hands trembled as he wiped it away quickly, breathing uneven. He took a pill, then another. Not yet, he whispered softly. A moment later, he washed his face, smiled at his reflection, and walked out like nothing happened. The night felt heavier than usual, like something was ending. Jungkook stood beside him on the balcony, quieter than ever. If I disappear one day, Jungkook said softly. Taehyung frowned. What? Jungkook looked at the city lights. Don't feel guilty. Something in Taehyung's chest tightened painfully. Why would I? But the words didn't come out, because deep down, he already knew. This wasn't just a mission anymore. This wasn't just a target. This was something fragile. Just promise me. Silence. Heavy. Unanswered. Taehyung didn't promise, but he didn't refuse either. And somewhere deep inside, he felt it. Something was coming. Something he wasn't ready for.
It happened suddenly. Too suddenly. They were in the kitchen, quiet, ordinary, almost peaceful. Jungkook was laughing softly, trying to flip a pancake, and then the plate slipped from his hand, shattered. Jungkook staggered. Taehyung frowned. Hey! Before he could finish, Jungkook collapsed. Jungkook! The name tore out of him before he realized it. Taehyung caught him just before he hit the ground. Jungkook's body felt too light, too weak. Hey, open your eyes! Taehyung's voice cracked, shaking him gently. No response. His breathing was uneven, shallow, wrong. For the first time in years, the assassin was afraid. The hospital smelt like antiseptic and fear. Taehyung stood outside the emergency room, hands stained faintly red, breath uneven. Minutes felt like hours. Hours felt like eternity. Finally, the doctor stepped out. Serious, quiet. Taehyung's chest tightened. He's fine, right? The doctor hesitated. That was enough. Tell me, Taehyung demanded. A pause, then, I'm sorry. Those two words shattered everything. He's in the late stage of a cancer. It has spread. The doctor continued carefully. He has a few months left, at most. Silence. Taehyung didn't react, didn't move, didn't breathe, because his mind refused to understand. No, he whispered. No, that's not possible. But it was. And suddenly, everything made sense. The calm, the smiles, the lack of fear. Jungkook wasn't afraid of death because he was already walking toward it. Jungkook looked different, smaller, fragile, like he could disappear if Taehyung blinked. Machines beeped softly around him. Taehyung stood by the bed, unmoving. This wasn't the same man who smiled at him in the kitchen. This wasn't the same man who told him to eat properly. This was someone dying. Jungkook stirred slightly, eyes half open. Taehyung? His voice was barely there. Taehyung stepped closer instantly. I'm here. Jungkook's fingers moved weakly, searching. Without thinking, Taehyung took his hand, and Jungkook held on, tightly, like he was afraid Taehyung would disappear. "Don't go," Jungkook whispered, barely conscious. Taehyung swallowed hard. "I'm not going anywhere." And for the first time, he meant it. It was supposed to end there. Just grief, just pain, just love. But Taehyung found something he was never meant to see. A file, hidden, carefully. Inside, contracts, payments, orders, his name. Kim Taehyung, target requested by Jeon Jungkook. The world went silent. Jungkook didn't just accept death. He planned all this. He chose him. Taehyung's hands started shaking, anger rising fast, sharp, violent. "What the hell is this?" When Jungkook woke up fully, the silence between them felt heavier than ever. Taehyung stood near the window, back turned. "Why didn't you tell me?" Jungkook didn't answer immediately. He already knew. Taehyung turned slowly, eyes darker than ever. "You're dying." Silence. "And you still..." His voice cracked slightly. "You still let me stay like this?" Jungkook looked down. "I didn't want you to see me like that." Taehyung laughed bitterly. "You think this is better?" Then, the final blow. "I know everything." Jungkook's fingers tightened slightly on the bedsheet. Taehyung stepped closer. "You hired them." No denial, no shock, just quiet acceptance. "Yes." Taehyung's chest tightened painfully. "You hired the organization and requested me." Jungkook looked up, and in his eyes, there was no fear, only something deeper, something that hurt more. "Yes." "Why?" he shouted. "Why would you do that? Do you have any idea what that means?" Jungkook's gaze softened. "I do." "Then why me?" Taehyung's voice cracked. "Why would you choose me to kill you?" Jungkook inhaled slowly, and then, "Because you were always the one I was waiting for." Taehyung froze. Silence filled the room. Heavy, waiting. Jungkook's voice was quiet, but every word carried weight. "Do you remember the orphanage?" Taehyung froze. Something flickered. A memory. Faint. Broken. Rain, but softer. Warmer. A small orphanage. Laughter echoing in the halls. "Taehyung!" A small boy, 5 years old, messy hair, bright eyes, ran across the yard. Behind him, another boy, slightly older, 7. Calm, but smiling. Jungkook. "You're too slow," little Taehyung laughed. Jungkook caught up, grabbing his hand. "I'm not slow. You're just impatient." They stayed like that, always together, eating from the same plate, sleeping side by side, protecting each other from everything. "You won't leave me, right?" Taehyung asked one night, small fingers clutching Jungkook's sleeve. Jungkook smiled gently. "Never." But promises made by children don't survive reality.